Abusia Ghana Code Board near Sammy Gyamfi Danui, any national security, or my an arrest be a God Almighty.
So these are some of the goals.
Sikana Shabak in Pampe plus gold, Abusia, and as India 46 and a trading illegally or Ghana. So, obviously, I see a children in your kind.
So, you've not been able to establish the total amount, is it because you're unable to count it?
Details of that are still coming in. But Sammy Gyamfi wahala with Agradaa. The presidency, President Mahama and the chief of staff, almost the one sema ba. Yeah, Yabeka wants them later in the video. A whole lot of people also step in.
Wine on your bonnet down to Womoban. People, if you perform more party, $50,000 to two more behind the scenes. Don't talking about it.
Let's talk about a couple of them, starting with Vim Lady, a few Vim Lady on Instagram was say, we know what Sammy Gyamfi did was an indiscretion, especially given how he criticized others in the past. Yeah, make I want them. Because Sammy Gyamfi Cecilia Dapa buy, dear buy, or can want him year and so need the abba definitely a man for good talk. But the way NPP is crying blood and demanding his sack is unbelievable. Not long ago, NPP was busy justifying Cecilia Dapa's 1 million saga. We must all learn from this. Because as the Ghanaian proverb says, a buyer debo techino, and no one debo capito. Yeah, we see as I know, I can make this stuff up. So Vim Lady dear no. Also, yeah, Cecilia Dapa dear buyer no. Sammy Gyamfi in the top. But what I say now, her case is name you know, and your pet. But the fact is, mommy and you not there dollars, so yeah.
Evidence is what we are seeking. Who evidence? Bring it out. Let the special prosecutor deal with him. Young man, Sammy Gyamfi too. More Brakrano, $10,000 on yabi.
Malik Basintale showing support. Abra Sammy Gyamfi post to an apology on Facebook, but he has done more than that. Wako TVs, Wako Chere Ghana, your forest bureaus were Ghana. So, because Ghana won't mean $19 here, it doesn't make sense. Right now, you can go to a bochief wage, Kwanhui, and you can buy any currency bia from them. You have forest bros or Ghana, you can go there, buy dollar or exchange dollar. So if you say Sammy Gyamfi can't share dollars, that is wrong. Then the forest bros in Ghana, they say turning into one can.
The reason why it is not a crime to possess dollars in this country is because we even have forex. And the forex bureaus that are registered under the laws of this country permit you to buy and sell dollar. Okay. So if it is a crime, then the forex bureaus should be turned into choppers.
Abuja Malik, definitely, and this so I can't say maybe favor Sammy Gyamfi, even though what he's saying, he's not wrong.
I mean, why has he been invited by the Chief Justice? The Chief of Staff, sorry. The Chief of Staff. Why has he been invited
there
by the
was no official document anywhere.
I mean, at least we have confirmed
saying that there was no official document anywhere suggesting that the Chief of Staff invited him based on A, B, C, D.
Shut up, don't worry about what you're saying. Do you all know when Sammy Gyamfi started helping the streets? All of you should shut up and leave the young man alone if you don't know about someone's humble beginnings. We like tarnishing people's image too much. Coming live soon for y'all. Which means I don't know if it's our live on our body because Shatawale ba live reality muzo be do be at top. So Shatawale so say Sammy Gyamfi started boy streets and so be beating about. You guys should just shut up and sit down.
Nobody should go and attack the gentleman. There's nothing wrong. And I'll say it. Nothing wrong.
Nana Yasapon from Movement for Change, which is Alan Cash and Kofwe, or say NPP for press conferences or Moyano. They have no moral right to actually do that. Is he right or wrong? Good you know.
My goodness.
The boldness of which they go to sit for the cameras to be on them, for them to speak on this matter, and to call for the head of Sammy Gyamfi. You see, the politics of equalization is not something I like to do. But when somebody has not got the moral right to touch on an issue and the person does it with impunity, then you are forced to draw the person's attention to the fact that yesterday, you had an opportunity to serve the people. What did you do?
I think he's talking about that in regards to Cecilia Dapa because Cecilia Dapa Madiaka. Right now, it's like they are comparing it directly with Cecilia Dapa. So, on a point, I know any point. Listen inside. Sam George, Minister for Communication and, Abuja say, we fall, we learn, we rise. A comrade who has stood with many and continues to do so. You may have issues with who he gave to and what he gave, but let's be fair to the young man. Since I have been appointed, Sami is the most troublesome person on my phone looking for jobs for party people. It is who he is. But in this case, he wasn't looking for a job for Agradaa. So if you say that, then I don't also know what you mean. I can relate with all the attacks, but Sammy Gyamfi, keep your head up, respond to the query, but always know you have the respect and affection of many. Minister for Tourism, Ablajifa Gomashi, say, dear somebody, what trouble we are. I wouldn't call Sami a friend. I met him for the first time when he was contesting to be the National Communication Officer. He was introduced to me by my campaign team. They asked for my vote. Subsequently, I became one of his many aunties. I met him again when I was campaigning in 2024. I asked him to come campaign with me in my beloved K2 South for our presidential candidate. This young man offered to support me financially if I could reschedule the event. His reason was he was so busy on that day I had chosen him. He honored his promise and came. So I'm neutral, for NDC, but one shocking video is from Owusu Bempa. Abo papu, abusuani video ababe and God Almighty. Osi obia forget ya base mutaki Sami Gyamfi no. Ono MPP ni true and true. Baniamo ye no, you don't have legs to stand on.
Mumu why na onye bone da onto bo mo ba no. People ebinu ye nimkofo mo ye party bo mo tam $50,000 to bo ma behind the scenes. Don't talking about it.
Chairman bobo na adwen akere say ye ne kura ye party for ne kura ye MPP ye ni hwe ye say we are fighting within ourselves instead of focusing to face ourselves and we are chasing Sami Gyamfi.
To me, I think me Ubusami as a political strategist, this is a dead on arrival. And we cannot capitalize on this to score political points. Oh party mu emu dere na no minu abronye won tinse mo be ka kira fa kan Japan ho a yetimi eno no ye kan ho ase woni ba bi e be ko akowie jai yanko
Sami Gyamfi adia why a whole lot of people are be paying, so forget about it, let the young man be in the account.
Nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong. Nobody should go and attack the gentleman. There's nothing wrong, and I'll say it, nothing wrong.
Sami Gyamfi starting your scan. Time no muko radio interviews. Abusiana Sami Gyamfi Range Land Cruiser.
And why you politics what dear Chira Kwabeya, a bunch of little TV, so Land Cruiser, no use Land Cruiser back, say, or two opposition or Banon Land Cruiser they buy. Menina radio so bear 10,000 use Land Cruiser. What are you talking about?
And then your car, grand, I am Mr. When you hope Senado, you mutu coin that flight in no, not Sami Gyamfi team. Or Mona no or my buying was no, now Mona more or more travel, economy. Not Sami Gyamfi business class. So if you say Sami Gyamfi needs to give people that is neither here nor there.
Many na full plane. Many new hopes in Adoye. You call UN General Assembly. You full opposition time not the business class. Now you the economy.
So Abuzia obo papa there we born adwi wakeka bia akere ne party for ne amanfo a omuye dede ne gan kan.
Some a ye kodi Sami Gyamfi asem ye bia chodum hu. Ye friend no dwaso han time fi areho. If you knew it, oh sorry, Babeka, so be chay. If you knew you, buy a small per unity into Mamonka. Unity necessary, Yankasa necessary.
Already now, my couple of videos are sure where I stand, so I don't need to go back and But let's move on.
Let the young man enjoy whatever. Let him enjoy.
In the midst of all this wahala ne tokaton, Abusia, and the old videos of Sami Gyamfi RSFSA interview on Captain Smart here in in that, he was talking about the fact, he said, at age 24, no, a lounge or a restaurant, or no, I employ people over 50 or Ghana at age 24.
Inti, uno ye nipa benya, mena me accounts on channel me yeduma we me yeduma. Me sorry, do you know the people I speak to? Do you know the work I do? Me what 24 years in Kumasi, Mr. Sampa in before. I had a lounge, a restaurant. I was employing over 50 people at the age of 24.
That interview, he was talking about the fact that in time on the airport residence videos, ni pictures babontia. Now man was no nyeska wa hine this is adan kakraka no. Oti ase. And then I'll try to explain it say wa bobra from somewhere no deba. So that was then. And now in airport residence now. Abuja is not a fear. You can say Sami Gyamfi fie ni na se wunim nipa kro ya beka say ni fie da. Over adwe kwa ya kro beka so a fraud boy. I doubt fraud boy experience is a It's a very big house. As a billionaire be mansion. You get me? So in the midst of all these talks, and as a man for, I don't know how it resurfaced, but to show people say, if you say Sami Gyamfi can't give money to people, and I said that amount to anybody, then you are completely mistaken.
At age 24, into dining the Isha, me see the 10 times. Me see palace crowd and me see White House crowd was somewhere because me buying the Jamaica. Me are buying Susika. Me see the chance out to the glory of God.
And then another interesting twist is going to say, yes, I'm of Bobby say President Mahama the code of conduct, out the buy, so when Timmy and sanction Sammy Gyamfi and one punishing in a way, then the code of conduct and was and then the question becomes the code of conduct and say, so official government duty be. Nasi a mawa dear a gift. Nasi a gift and a bro 20,000 Ghana cedis ya. Oh, quiet as away the uja. Nowhere in the code of conduct, And I must say, you can't give people money. And I say you can give people dollars. So people talking about code of conduct, it's also neither here nor there.
Code of conduct ne da hono obi ade ye de no. Ya tro wom se wo che obi ade a ye be tro na se wo koje ade a ne.
Yeah, chawa more than 20,000.
But another story is also crazy to say. You know, Mother's Day came here, and President Mahama posted a picture on President Nana Jane, Vice President, age I think say UK. And then right now, NPP for say President Mahama needs to be impeached. You don't start the process. I'm here in Africa because President Mahama Jack Ghana without leaving Ghana to any leader. Which means as a President Mahama 2.0, Nipo didn't chibe vice president. But here is the case, the main president and the vice president in are outside of the country. So why no country Ghana no Chiriman? Yeah. That is the question we announced at summer. And right now NPP for Jiraso say Omode Babe impeach President Mahama. It's like they want a scandal, they can't find anything. So the little they get, they grab onto it. Yeah.
And as a people of Ghana, we must all fight against this act of the president. We should, and the problem is that at the time the president was leaving, the Speaker of Parliament had already left. So when the president was leaving the country, he knew, or at best ought to have known, that he was going to create that vacuum. And that his leaving the country was going to be a breach of the constitution. But now, Emperor Mr. President decided that, look, I am the emperor, I can do whatever I like. Damn the consequence, and left the country.
Do you think that this impeachment will work? Because I know, when it comes to the succession of government, main president Niwa, your vice president, the same as a vice president to Suniwa, you are another person. It can be the, and again, the country Ghana Ninya Moye. The people of Mahama, the ministers, right now you see the fight at dollar, you see the Omonya. People are scared right now about $4. So you can understand at least the MPP will be free by. If there's a free country, no vice president. But here's the case that the vice president herself is also sick and recovering. Definitely no. Mahama and Jimmy Gazo or no Jack entry no or prom pramsa. There be. We will
not sit idly by for the constitution given to us to be violated without any consequence.
And one more thing. Agradaa was young Babontia Bechirim say $800 as Sammy Gyamfi demand in a month with this Sammy Gyamfi top or a person muchine and also the yin didn't a home. No more saying it didn't on pay problem be that $800 no. Or what system and one can CDs. I say double 800 na double no. Na video the Sammy Gyamfi ade abre no. Say na be ya asem bi ade na asem beko.
Mimi di medafo. Sami minti. Ani yi Sammy Gyamfi adi. Ani NDC fuei. Me pa mo chow. Empedi fuei. Me sramu mu $800 no. Mi ameko na mako pebi. CDs. Na mako sesa. Na ye dollars. Na me di abohun. Na me di mo adi abremo. I don't need your money.
I was a try video the way I was a spokesperson for government communications, Felix Ofosukwache, Honorable. What Babeka Sachre say? Sammy Gyamfi Matano, Chief of Staff, a friend wa Huako Sheno. President Mahama say or her a chow partner Sammy Gyamfi diabano tears Sammy Gyamfi side of matters. Yeah, there is no further action to be taken again. So Sammy Gyamfi is going to go back to the job and do his work.
The presidency acknowledges Mr. Sammy Gyamfi's immediate act of contrition and the acknowledgement of the need to express regrets over that incident. So that apology has been taken on board. There may be things that may be commonplace in our private lives, but once you become a public official, you need to be sensitive to public expectation, and therefore that ought to guide the way that you order your steps. So in view of that, Presidency does not believe that any further action ought to be taken beyond the apology and the caution. And we all take a cue from it.
But o kan nsem ni duru animu ho ba bi na no se Ghana fo ebre na wo hwe oturo shade bi ma NPP fo. So that shade ni nko anti no. I know such na media no so be sia yede. Yeah, NPP fo go come and respond one cause so we can wait for that one. He said I say you do me, I also do you. You throw shade, I will come with a press conference. Yeah, NPP for. Yes, we had a press conference. Who person ja here kura from my press conference amount.
We are aware that Ghanaians expect high standards in the performance of our duties as public officials. We remain committed to meeting those high standards to ensure that we deliver the best of governance to our people who have been long suffering in the last few years under poor governance.
Abuja in the middle of Aboswakan, opposite Methodist Basic School, I want to be Vineyard Autoplus Company Limited. Adwuma very simple. Omoton car spare parts. Na so be a brand new car. Ubeti menye bi amano.
Will be a brand new car from US. I menye bi there amano.
Wo hwe machia. Se sia na container ba ko aba omayi mu no manyina agu fam. No amana buy enso to because of how original it is. Ni ba bi e free ayeba. Uba Aboswakan amafo beti matwedi, but not Mr. Chumasi. Our run Vineyard Autoplus Company Limited. Abuja the company is very simple. Car parts bi a upe bi obenye bi amano. Say engine. Car rubber kra na upe obenye bi amano. Dashboard, interiors, whatever. Car no it doesn't matter. Say Toyota, say Range Rover, say whatever. Abusia upebi nko ade a obenye bia ma.
Pass bia no. We don't think about where bia no. Engines, cars, cinema, American cars, oil, lubricant bia we he bia no. For Vineyard no sabeka.
My hu advert Steven Edikia Baha. Me what Ghana area na am say no yesa me am ba na mba behwe ne yekoso na abusia buy no. God Almighty. Everything bia upe bia. Fa car ho de. From Mr. Chumasi, ya was a number see who screen so no. Obetimi aboa ma o sa can be simple kra.